Omega-3 is such a vital fatty acid that our bodies so badly need, and yet so many of us are deficient in it. One of the biggest reasons why we tend to be deficient in it is because our bodies can't synthesize this type of fatty acid, and our diets in the West don't tend to provide quite enough of it. A deficiency can lead to a whole array of symptoms, and so in this video I'm going to go through the 5 most significant benefits of omega-3 and why our bodies need it so badly, and some of the most common symptoms that you may experience if you are deficient in it, and make sure you stick to the end to find out the best type of fish oil, which is one of the best sources of omega-3 and a great alternative if you are vegan. Let's begin. Hello, welcome back to the channel. My name is Dr. Steven. Thank you again for joining, and in this video we're going to be looking at fish oil, which is one of the best sources and the highest sources of omega-3, which is so important for our bodies. So generally there are 2 types of the omega-3 fatty acids. We've got the EPA and the DHA, and when it comes to omega-3 we've also got omega-6. And we need a healthy balance of omega-3 to omega-6. When this comes out of balance, this is when we start to get a lot of issues. The best ratio for omega-6 to omega-3 is around 4:1. The problem is, particularly in the West and with our diets, is that this ratio tends to get way out of proportion, as high as 10:1, 20:1, and sometimes even as high as 30:1. So what we need to do is lower our omega-6 and increase our omega-3. And this is why we talk about omega-3 much more than omega-6, is because we don't have an issue normally getting enough omega-6, but we do tend to have an issue getting enough omega-3. And that is mainly just because of our diets. So what are the benefits? Well, here are the top 5 that I found for omega-3 and reasons why you may want to consider taking it. The first one is cardiovascular health. This is probably one of the most significant improvements that you can get in your cardiovascular health, and it does this in 4 ways. It helps to lower your triglycerides. It helps to increase your HDL, which is your good cholesterol. It reduces the chances of blood clots, and it reduces inflammation. The EPA version of omega-3 has been shown to increase the bioavailability of nitric acid in your body. So basically making it easier for your body to utilize the nitric acid in your body. And why that's important is because nitric acid helps to open up and expand the arteries in your body, to reducing them from constricting or spasming, which is an important aspect when it comes to heart attacks and strokes. A randomized controlled trial here showed a reduced risk of cardiovascular disease in those taking supplementing with EPA omega-3 when they compared it to a group that were taking a fake drug or fake supplement, so a placebo. A meta-analysis here on looking at omega-3 concluded by saying that omega-3 supplementation lowers risk for myocardial infarction, so basically heart attacks, coronary heart disease deaths, total coronary heart disease, cardiovascular deaths, and total cardiovascular disease. So generally has been shown to lower your problems with the cardiovascular systems, lower your chances of heart attacks. Number 2, it helps to reduce inflammation. So I mentioned that in regards to the heart, but this goes way beyond just reducing inflammation for the heart, but can reduce, really theoretically at least, any inflammation in your body. So this can be autoimmune diseases such as type 1 diabetes, arthritis, asthmas, and many other things. And one of the main reasons why and how it can reduce inflammation in the body is because of how it brings this balance of omega-6 to omega-3 back into an ideal range. When we get too much omega-6 in comparison to omega-3, that is when we tend to get more inflammation in our body. So by increasing our omega-3, you can optimize that balance, which is going to help to reduce the inflammation in your body. Now, where do we get this omega-6 then? Well, there are lots of places we get omega-6, and it tends to be a lot of the unhealthy foods, but one area is seed oils. So seed oils such as sunflower oil, safflower oil, corn oil, soybean oil, and also a lot of the seeds contain quite a lot of omega-6. So if you are quite high in omega-6 and low in omega-3, you may actually want to try and avoid some of these seed oils. And number 3, it can help improve your brain health. Around 60% of the tissue in your brain is fat. And this is another fantastic reason to make sure you're getting good and healthy fats into your body and not trying to go on this low-fat diet where you're reducing fats, because your body does need this fat. Now, where omega-3 comes in, particularly for the brain, is it really helps in the communication of the neurons in your brain to help proper brain functions, helps the brain to work in a proper way. A systematic review here showed how omega-3 was able to enhance learning, memory, cognitive well-being, and blood flow in the brain. There's also been an interesting association between the amount of omega-3 someone has in their body and in their brain with a larger brain volume and a larger hippocampus. The hippocampus is an area of your brain that's associated with memory. And there's also been an association with the higher levels of omega-3 in your body and the less likely someone is to be depressed. So it looks as if omega-3 would help with depression, which would make sense, because if you've got good building blocks, a good structure for your nervous system, you're going to make it much less likely that you're going to develop issues within that system. Obviously, there are other aspects to this as well, but omega-3 can help just give you a good foundation. And number 4, it can help improve eye health. Omega-3 is required for proper eye function, and there's been an association seen between omega-3 levels, or high omega-3 levels, and the less likely you are to get age-related macular degeneration. Number 5, it helps to improve your skin, and it does this in many different ways. One of them is it helps to regulate your oil production, and it helps to maintain and regulate your hydration. So it stops your skin from drying out, so getting dry skin. And as I mentioned before, helps reduce inflammation, but this can also occur in the skin. And so we can reduce things like dermatitis, which is essentially just inflammation of the skin, as well as things like psoriasis, which is a bit more of an autoimmune condition. So how much omega-3 should we be taking in a day? Well, the National Institute of Health recommends anywhere between 1100 milligrams to 1600 milligrams. So where can we get this from? Well, primarily we can get this from oily fatty fish. This is one of the best sources of omega-3, and of course getting it in your diet is one of the best ways of getting it. You can also find it in nuts and seeds like flaxseed and chia seeds, and this is obviously particularly important if you don't eat fish. Now, one of the downsides to the fish is that it does contain heavy metals, so you do have to be wary of that. However, if you eat the smaller types of fish like anchovies and sardines, it tends to have less of the heavy metals than the larger types of fish. So what happens if you're not getting enough in the diet, you're not eating enough fish, or maybe you just don't like fish or don't eat fish at all? Well, there are 2 types of supplements you can take, and the first one is fish oil. Fish oil is a fantastic source of omega-3. It's one of the best sources that you can get. Now, there's different types of brands that you can get of fish oil, and one good brand is this brand here called Eskimo. Basically, you just want a supplement that is going to be as pure as possible, so don't go for the super cheap ones that are being heated and processed, etc. Ideally, you want to add pure as possible to get the best quality, so you're actually getting the omega-3 into your body. Now, if you're vegan and you don't want to take fish oil, you can take a vegan omega-3 supplement that is made from algae oil. So I will put links for the fish oil as well as the vegan supplement in the description for you to see. Another fantastic source of omega-3 is cod liver oil, and there are some unique benefits of cod liver oil compared to fish oil. And if you want to see more about that, then you can check out the video that's about to pop up on the screen. And the other video that will pop up is the benefits of cod liver oil. So you can check those two out. But just before I go through that, let me just tell you about some discount codes I've got in the description. So you can get 10% off Vivo barefoot minimalist shoes that I personally wear every single day. You get 10% off Athenase, which is a superfood that is specifically formulated for men's health. And you can get 15% off a natural deodorant that I use every day that doesn't contain any of the harmful chemicals. So do check those out in the description below. There are some links so you can get a discount. I will see you on either one of these videos or hopefully my next one. If you're not yet subscribed, then don't forget to do so. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.